This rare signal always has an effect on Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, generally to the downside and by a lot. Historically speaking, the prices have dropped up to 70% after this signal has occurred, and in this bull market, we've already seen it happen twice with a 30% correction on Bitcoin. However, this time things are slightly different. Not in the old sense of this time is different, but we haven't seen the same sort of readings come through in the market sentiment in order for this signal to be warranted for a 30 to 70% correction. However, it's still important to watch over the coming 4 days as we get to the close of the end of the week, because what is the point of looking at a signal in hindsight? It's better to watch it in the true time so that we can be prepared for it should it eventuate. So hit the like, subscribe to the channel if you want to stay up to date with these signals. We've been tracking them on the channel now for years, especially through the March top of 2024, suggesting that there was going to be a long correction, and that happened to be 5 months, and also the December correction of 2024 as well, also looking at a longer correction through that period. So the first thing that we're watching is the 3 days down. Now, the same thing can happen in reverse for the bulls, and we saw that here. That was back in April of 2025. So what we're looking at here, or now, is 3 bars down. I'm on a weekly chart now. So this one is quite rare on the weekly chart for Bitcoin because we've barely seen it happen. So we've got one occasion here and a second occasion for the all-time high, the cycle top of 2021, and that occurred through late November into early part of December. And so what we're watching for are 3 lower highs and lower lows from a significant top. Now, if you're a long-term viewer of the channel, you're probably aware of the signal. It has helped many of you, and I've seen your comments down below, especially through the March period when we saw it come up on the daily chart for Bitcoin. And that helped a lot of people not pile in towards the peaks and potentially take a few profits on the way as you see the market rise back up into lower highs. So that's the power of the signal. Firstly, it can help save a ton of money so that you're not throwing in more and more cash into the market. And secondly, you could possibly make some profits from it because you're watching for the breakdown and you understand where the invalidation of the signal is. So that's another important factor to learn about the signal. So I'll go through the invalidations of the signal today as well. So first things first is the weekly chart. So we're at 1, 2, 3 red triangles pointing down, lower highs, lower lows, because September 1st, which was the start of the week, just put in a slightly lower low than the previous week, which gave us the signal. So now we're on red alert for a potential invalidation, or should this continue and play out, then we would have the signal from the high, which would suggest that the price could be down for a lot longer than most people are anticipating. And essentially that could continue to carry on for Q4. Now, I'll let you know my thoughts after we go through some of the analysis. In the short term, the invalidation to this over the coming 4 days would be a push higher and a break above the previous weekly top, which is a price of 113,647 if you're watching this crypto chart. So for a round number, we're watching for $113,700, which is a pretty good target considering where the market is and what we've seen over the last couple of days for Bitcoin with this nice rally up from the lows at 107,000. So if it is able to get above that level, all it has to do is pierce the top of 113,700, which is a couple of $1,000s away from the current price. Even if it closes lower, that's okay, as long as it breaks through that top. And as I've been following with some of the other videos this week, is my thoughts on a suckers rally or a bear trap or a bull trap, or basically just some sort of dead cat bounce into these levels to test those highs, and then for the market, in this case Bitcoin, just to stall out again, maybe even putting in a slightly lower low than the current lows. And that is the second signal, which is different to the 3 bars or 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 bars down. This one is just looking at 3 red weeks in this case. 1, 2, 3. They've been confirmed now. We've got the 3 red weeks from the all-time high second week, third week. All of those weeks closed red, which suggests that sellers are stronger at this point, even if we do see a bounce. But this is where we have to understand the short term and the longer term. In the short term, it looks like we're heading for a bounce, which could hopefully, for the bullish case here, break this top, get rejected somewhere around that 114 to the 116, 117 level, and start to fade back down and test the lows once again to establish a solid base for the next move to the upside. So that's a look at, well, that's the scenario that I'm watching for the best bullish case scenario. Now, I haven't said that the best bullish case scenario is a break above the highs and then taking off to new all-time highs yet, because that would just look like we haven't had enough time to consolidate the moves, and essentially you're just going to get this pretty fast run up. Yes, the price is going to be higher, but it possibly just makes the structure a little weaker, even if it is running to new fresh highs. The point of that we see time and time again is when the market doesn't have enough time to consolidate, you just see it run up quickly and then it stalls out, and it can take months. And at this late stage of the cycle, it would probably be somewhere near the end of the move. So we might get this really big push up to the 130s, 150s, who knows? But that could then lead to a further correction and a further consolidation for any final moves, or it could be the end. So essentially, we want to see things consolidate and then start to climb higher again, rather than things just take off, because almost every single time they take off, you get bigger corrections, takeoff corrections, and then eventually things roll over to a very heavy degree. So that's why I'm looking at this as potentially being, for the short term, a little rise up here, taking out the signal, invalidating the 3 bars down, potentially getting rejected around the 114 to 117, coming back down, testing the lows, basically scooping up all the buyers who wanted to buy the dip, washing them back out, getting in the lows, all of those sellers, the bears that think that the cycle is over, and rinse and repeat. That would, I think, be one of the best ways to clear out the noise from those calling the top and those calling the bottom, and bigger bull markets ahead. So now that we got the 3 red weeks, which is different to the 3 bar signal, which you can see from the lows or the highs, which give you a strong trend changing signal, then we can move on to have a look at the 3 days down, which is a slightly more, it pops up slightly more often than the 3 weeks, which is a good thing, because you don't necessarily want to see the 3 weeks happening all the time, because that is a much more powerful signal of the 3 bars, because it's a longer term time frame. So in the past, we've seen the 3 days down in December. We saw the 3 days down here as well in March 2024. And this is the interesting part that is different now to those signals. So we need to have a couple of filters overlapping each other for the signal. The previous time we saw 3 days down was at the April 2021 top. That's the all-time high in April, or was the all-time high. 1, 2, 3. The gray ones don't reset the count. It's just the red ones here. And what I'm using is the Gann Swing Pro with the bar types turned on, so that you can see the colors quite quickly. And so we saw that signal at the highs. It rallied into a lower high, and then of course a 55% correction into June. We also saw the signal back here in June of 2019. Massive run up from that high, really big spike top, lots and lots of extreme greed coming into the space. 1, 2, 3, lower high formed, and then basically it couldn't recover to those previous tops, and you had a 53% correction to that December low, rally up, and then of course COVID, but I'm just measuring it to this one. If we did measure it to the COVID low, you're looking out towards 72%, which is quite similar to the corrections that we saw in 2017. It's all-time high, 1, 2, 3 red days down, so lower highs, lower lows, straight off the top. Not a good time to be buying the dip, especially if you see the 3 in a row from a significant turning point. And then of course it couldn't recover from there, and the cycle turned down, 70% correction from that top. Now I've covered a few more in the past through this period and how that could be traded, but because I don't have, or because there is no data for the market sentiment looking at the crypto fear and greed that I've got at the bottom here, we're going to stick with these few at the top. So in each of the occasions, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 occasions we saw extreme greed. 1, 2, 3, 4. And because I was trading the market here, I know this was very, very high extreme greed. It's not on the chart, but it was extremely high extreme greed. So let's go with it. 4 of them. And this time, we haven't seen the extreme greed. We got a day into extreme greed once here, and then one other day here in May before that correction. So this time, we haven't seen a prolonged period in extreme greed leading up into these highs, these new all-time high prices. So although there's no absolute guarantees when it comes to the market, this is something that's in my probabilities that I would think that this is far less likely. If we did see the 3 bars down on the weekly chart, I would think it's far less likely that the cycle is over from this point. So the market sentiment doesn't look like it's reached that extreme peak for the end of the cycle, which I think is a good sign, at least for the bull market, suggesting that we're not heading towards a new cycle low or going to take out these sort of $74,000 lows, which would essentially be the end of the bull market. So to the upside, we've looked at levels that would invalidate this. So somewhere around a $113,700 hit this week within the next 4 days. And any sort of movement down, that's okay from that point. It would also fall in line with our 3 red week signal, which would suggest, the signal suggests that we would see another test of this low here at 107, but the bull market would still be on from that point. Something else that I've seen that is lining up with this is the sentiment on Google Trends. We haven't seen the extreme search volume for Bitcoin or crypto like we saw at the other peaks when those signals also turned up. You got the extreme tops here. This is November. The search volume pretty damn high, 66 for Bitcoin, and the top there in November, October, roughly around 47, similar to this time, but actually we didn't see the 3-bar signal at that top either. So that's a good sign. And the other time we saw very high search volume for Bitcoin, that was back at the 2021 tops there as well. January, February, April, it was just all going crazy at that time. So that's a good sign there for this period, even if we see these bearish signals happen to unfold. Now, the other thing is the cycle leading into September, as we've been covering, looks like we got further downside in September, or at least some consolidation through this period. This is the red line in the background for the 5 and the 10-year cycles combined. Pretty strong pattern here, good roadmap that we're following. Following that, we've been watching for any sort of Q4 move to the upside. It seems that like a lot of people are watching for this. That's why I think maybe in September we get some sort of flush out that freaks people out, thinking that the cycle's over. A few of their signals pop up, things that they're watching, that leads them to think that the top's in and then we're not going to come back up. And then it sort of turns on its head and we start to see a pretty good rise there. September's low is early in the month when you look at the red line here. So taking a much closer look in, early in the month, and then they've got a few higher lows here. So even if we got to the end of the month and there was a higher low forming, I think that's a relatively good sign for what's coming next. The USDT dominance is playing ball here. It's hit the double top, pulled back a little bit here. So you'd expect that to occur, the dominance to fall in the short term while Bitcoin has been rallying. Ethereum's been up 3% here. The other major alts, they're up 1% or 2% in the top 20. You got Sui here, Sol's up 1%, and Pepe, Hype, etc. Right? So you'd see the USDT dominance fall. And if we do get this move down for Bitcoin, then we would expect to see the USDT dominance rise, provided it doesn't go above roughly that 4.9% that we've been watching. Then it's all still playing ball like last time, double top, and it went slightly higher, poked the top, came back down. This time, maybe we see a little bit of a bigger peak, bit of a bigger break through that top, but it provided the closes come back underneath the tops on the daily closing basis, then that's a good sign for the bull market as well. And the forward returns for Bitcoin generally suggest if we get consolidation around this period, August, September, then the rest of the month, provided we're still in the bull market, which I think we are, those months tend to be pretty positive as well. December has the lowest chance. There's 66% of it being a green month for this bull market. We've seen the green July, red August. Green July, red August was last year, and it had another good 3 months. December, not such a good month. July, August was down, so you had 2 red months in quarter 3. It was a good end to the year, so good 3 months to the end. 2021, you had the consolidation around September, and then October was a good month. November was the all-time high, and then rolled over, and then of course December was no good. And then August and September, that was your rotation. That was the opposite there. So August up, September down, and then still a good quarter 4. 2017 had them flipped around. You had the correction in September, the rise in August. So that was a new fresh high. But then quarter 4 was also really good. 2 months of consolidation. September marginally better there, 2016. But of course, quarter 4 also pretty damn good. 2015, green and red, and then the rest of the year was pretty good, with September having a marginal increase as well. So hopefully you're starting to see the pattern through this. Should we get the consolidation? Should there be a marginal increase here? If it is going to be green for September, it's not skyrocketing yet. I think if we do get the skyrocketing number, probably not going to last too much longer. Maybe we don't get to the December, but we should get the October, maybe some point into November. Essentially looking at a relatively good quarter 4, some gains to be had within quarter 4. For this period still, or August into September or October, I'm still watching the Jackson Hole correction phase. So the Jackson Hole meetings in August, and for the last 6 or so years, there's pretty much been a correction for the S&P 500 every single time, no matter if it was a raging bull market, if it was coming out of the COVID collapse, if it was leading up into a final new all-time high before the COVID collapse, if it was leading to the end of the bear market, right into that low, you name it, there has been some sort of correction. This one here has been one of the weakest ones last year in 2024. So maybe we're still on this path to another fresh all-time high, big run-up move to the end of the 18 years land cycle before we get this downturn. But it really does look like things are leading towards this particular correction, like we're seeing with a lot of the economic data at the moment. Interest rates do look like they're going to get cut here at the next meeting happening in about 2 weeks' time, which could spur on these signals that we're watching for the remainder of quarter 4, remainder of 2025. We're also seeing gold another day hit a new all-time high price, and for silver putting in another new 14-year high, getting close to a new all-time high. That price is at $49.20 per ounce. And the bonds are also looking okay here after hitting a fresh low, a 2-month low, having rebounded from this point with the expectation that the interest rates are going to get cut. We saw the bonds drop off here, the 2 years, the 10 years, big reversal, and the 30 years after touching 5% have dropped down to now 4.9%. So it seems like the market is preparing for this final leg, whatever that looks like. Hopefully it's another big move to the upside, which I think is still obviously positive here for Bitcoin and some of those stronger altcoins. But yeah, longer term still looks like we're going to head towards this sort of peak in the top before the correction. Now, of course, TIA Premium is a great place if you want to learn more about that and how to navigate your portfolios through the end of the cycle and into that downturn. The thing we're really looking out for here is how we start to position ourselves once we get to this period of the cycle, around that 2028, 2029 period. Stock portfolios, real estate portfolios. So if that interests you, definitely check out TIA Premium right now. Otherwise, I'll see you guys back here at the next video. I'll update you again on Bitcoin, cryptos, the stock markets, and of course, the real estate cycle. So like and subscribe. Thanks again. Peace out.